Hey, welcome. This is Robert again. Today we're going to be discussing a little about Oracle. We're going to be working with the Oracle Express edition that Oracle provides for students on small projects. It's a version of the database that is very interesting because it gives you most of the flexibility and the functionality you will see on Oracle databases, and it's free. Doesn't have any licensing attached to it. It does have some restrictions, like you can only use one CPU connected to the Oracle database. You can only have one database that is up to 4 gigs in space, and I think that's the three restrictions that you have with the Oracle Express edition. So you will download this from the Oracle website. Is usually a zip file that you can get in either 64-bit version or 32-bit version. You will get a zip file like this, and then you can run the setup. So I'm just gonna walk you through the installation process for the Oracle Express. Very straightforward, and then start getting you familiarized with how you would interact with the Oracle database. It becomes very interesting when you start using all the advanced SQL features and PL/SQL that Oracle offers. It's a very powerful database, and when you start working with timestamps and some other proprietary features for Oracle, you might call it. So I'm just gonna walk through the installation. It's a very standard installation where you accept the license agreement, and then you want to specify the folder. Take a look at the space required and the space available. This is asking for as little as half of a gig on space for the binaries, and here you will define the system account. The system account is kind of the root account for the Oracle database. The first account you create, you can then later come back and create more users and grant different permissions and role to the users. But at this point, what we're been asked is for the original system account. So let me just use one of my well-known passwords in this, and basically just get a confirmation. You don't specify any options, any tuning. Timestamp on the database will be enabled along with some other default options that come with the Oracle Express database, and within few minutes should be installed. I'm gonna have another video on how to install this one on a Linux platform for those of you that are interested, and we're gonna start developing a series for SQL and some of the principles for SQL. I'm thinking about getting the OCA or OCP at some point later this year, so I'm just gonna start documenting part of that so you can reuse the know-how. So let's just wait until the installation wizard is over. Okay, so you see you will get a shortcut item on the desktop. A couple interesting things. That's fine. You might get an error like that. One thing that is important to notice is you will see some new services install under Windows. So I'm just gonna take you there for a minute so you can familiarize yourself with some of the services that Oracle will install for you. One of them is the most important one, which is the actual database daemon. So let me go ahead and show you that one in just a minute. Let's see, we have some services created already. Okay, let's look for some Oracle services. Okay, so under the description I should have some Oracle services. Okay, so you see that these are new services. The Oracle Service XE is the actual database. You can see that this one is an automatic startup configuration by the local system. So every time you want to make sure the database is running, you want to come here and start the service manually. Also, Oracle will curate for you some shortcuts like start database and a stop database. These two shortcuts, what they're basically doing is just running a net start for the service that I just showed you, or a net stop for the same server. Okay, so the database is installed. So if I want to start the database, I'll just come here, click on stop database, for example. It's running a net stop for the Oracle service XE. And if I want to do a start, I can just come here and run the script for start. To achieve the same, starting it manually. Okay. So once I have that, I basically have two different ways to interact with the database. I can do it either via command line, or I can do it via the web page. I'll show you a little bit of both, and I'll spend quite some time on database. So you get the basic command prompt for Windows. Basically what they're doing is running SQL plus command, so you could get to the same command line. I believe you just go over to CMD and then you run the SQL plus binary, and then we'll ask you for the username and password, and you can see that you're now logged into database. Basically the same if you come here and you open the run SQL command line, but here you will need to use the con command with the username and then the password to get connected. From here you can do a show user. Okay. And you can see that you're connected as the system user. And the first thing that I'm going to show you is how to create a new account. So I'm going to create a just going to use the same password. Okay, and I create the user. Now I need to grant some permissions to the user so the user can do anything to the database. As of now, the user would not be able to log in, would not be able to make changes, create tables, erase tables, or do any DVL commands. So I'm just going to grant connection and DVA permissions. You don't want to assign DVA just to any user, because DVA allows basically any type of modification to the database, so you want to be very restrictful on that. Have a syntax error. Okay, so I grant connect and deviate to Robert, and I can do a clear screen anytime you need to erase something. So I could exit out, then come back as my new user. Okay. One thing I could do is a select asterisk from cat, and this will show me all the different objects that I have under this user. So you can see there's no objects created within Oracle. Most of the things that you create, like views, like tables, like stored procedures, will be actual objects under Oracle. So let's say I create a table called cells, and I put columns in there. I put primary key ID, which is a type number 10 primary key, and I create value type number as well, 10, and I just create this very basic table, and then I do a select asterisk from cat again. You can see that I have a table called cells now, and the same goes for stored procedures, for views, and for other constructs. So the good thing about creating a new user is that you will see only the objects that relate to that particular user. Keep in mind that Oracle SE is just one instance of a database, so what you can do is you can create multiple tables, you can create multiple users, you might even create multiple schemas, but all of them will be under the same database. Now if you want to go for the web page for Oracle or the GUI, you can click on this getting started section, and I believe it should take you to the web GUI for it. You can see it's a local host address. Not sure if I need to disable my Windows firewall for that. Let's see. It might be. Okay. I really haven't done anything to this Windows Server virtual machine. It's just brand new out of the box. Okay, let me click on add to the trusted zone. Ask me later. Yeah, that's fine. Okay, so depending on the version of the Oracle XE that you install, you might get a different GUI, but you can go here to two different sessions like storage to check the sessions for the database, and here you would like to use your system account. You might connect with the other accounts that you created, but it's up to the roles what you will be able to do. So you can see that you have there's different processes with the certain percentage of memory that they're using. You should have at least 1 gig of available memory for you to run an Oracle SE session, and you can see the different users that are available on the database right now. We will talk about disabling this anonymous account later on. This anonymous account is used by the web GUI, so don't freak out by seeing these anonymous users logged in, and you can see my Robert SQL Plus session that is active from this computer, so you can see where the user is connected from. Some interesting features. Let me see if I can go to the SQL section. This GUI is a little different from what I'm used to. Parameters. You can see different parameters for the Oracle database. Okay, I'm going to have a video a little bit later on this. This XE version that I just downloaded, the web GUI is very different, so I don't want to drag this video too long. But this is just base how to get your database working. One thing you could do, because I found that command line is pretty cheaty sometimes, you can increase your layout, like your width. You can go to 175. Well, no, not for your buffer, but for your layout, your window size, you can go to 175. And because you might just use something like this, so you get a little bit more of a better command line to interact with, and I'll show you some scripts later on. Thank you.